Welcome, Erwin, to our ENTR podcast. And I'm Arthur, and I'm a year one student from HKUST, studying in business.
Okay,
Would
good.
you like to introduce you?
Yeah, I'm Professor Erwin Huang. I handle most of the entrepreneurship stuff in UST, and then obviously we have different classes, and also we are actually doing this ENTRU more or less as a chit chat, so that more people can be interested.
That's right. That's really interesting. So, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
It's actually accident. I was actually doing business for as a market and salesperson. Mm-hmm. I was developing Apple computers market in China.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then somehow there was a mistake, and then I thought I was going to develop a new project, and then my boss thought I was resigning. So I don't even know. Suddenly, it's a strange thing, and suddenly last month I might be getting a salary. Next month I might be actually paying for and becoming an entrepreneur. So it's entrepreneurship is something that you couldn't really even plan. Suddenly it come, but you need to be careful, be ready.
Definitely, because entrepreneurship it could pop up any second in your mind.
True.
When you're starting a new business,
True.
You're trying to solve an issue.
True.
Stuff like that, and
sometimes it's actually a unhappy accident might actually become an opportunity. That's what an entrepreneur would actually think. That's why entrepreneur mindset is actually very important. Are you ready for the mindset for change and grab every opportunity that you can grab?
Well, speaking of mindset, how is it really different from the mindset, for example, you had while you were in university? Because this podcast we're really looking into showing university students.
Yeah.
What podcast do you encourage them to have? What mindset do you encourage them to have? As a student trying to maybe become an entrepreneur or is seeking to be an entrepreneur in the future?
Okay. Well, let's say as a UST, we are the University of Stress and Tension. So people come in here and then they really think that there's a lot of stress because I need to get a good grade from the top majors.
That's
and
true.
Getting things and so on. Because we were thinking afterwards we'll get a professional job in the iBanking or in different parts and so on. So those are things that people are thinking about. But at the same time, the difference is actually you never know how the world will happen, right? This is a strange world.
It's changing every
It's changing every
second.
single day. Next week, Canada might become part of the US, or a world war will be coming, or a new virus is coming, or whatever you are planning to do will be replaced by AI. So it's something that we don't know. The uncertainty is there. So when I was studying, I was thinking maybe I try different things. Because I'm never sure. So first 2 years
experiencing with lots of
I was
hobbies and stuff.
Hobbies, majors, seeing the world. I was in the US, so I actually travel around the world a lot. The US have 50 states, and then for now it's 50 states, and then but at that point I've actually been to 49 states. So I've actually been driving around, seeing places. So broadening your horizon is actually very important. So instead of just focusing on one thing, and the rest of your life, your next 60 years will be doing just one thing. I was thinking that would be very boring.
Yeah, definitely. Like especially when you're really able to, get to try new things, experience different things. With all these opportunities, you never know which one's going to be the best for you if you don't try.
And that's part of the entrepreneurial mindset. It's actually like an explorer, like an adventurer. But at the same time, you will think, I have inertia, right? Let's say you are good in psychology.
Yep.
Maybe I should study more in psychology because I got 2 A's in the psychology. So I might get a 4.0 when I'm only in psychology. But then you don't just study psychology for the rest of your life. So you actually learn that to actually do other things. So that's why it's actually very important that you have an open mind and be ready to get out of your comfort zone. That's another entrepreneurial mindset.
Well, that's definitely testing your own limits.
Yeah, because normally you would think that, hey, this is the path. I take an exam, I move on to the next thing. I get a certificate, I become a professor or professional in a certain sector, and then you move on. But then, what if the sector is being eliminated by AI?
That's definitely true.
Or what if you got an accident like me? So that's I got fired. Then but basically I can take up the new thing. So I think that mindset is very important. Another thing is actually how you learn to learn. Learn to learn meaning we are in school. We're thinking we come to learn.
Yeah.
But whoever is teaching you, let's say the professors, they spend so many years in their research. So unlikely their stuff is very, very up to date.
That's true.
So that's why when we have all the new things coming, then if we learn only the current things, by the time we graduate, likely those things will be outdated. So it's just a skill that you're learning. that might be something that you need to be careful of. But if you learn to learn, meaning there are new way of learning. So let's say this 2 years, when AI, we can download everything. I don't know anything. I just AI it and ChatGPT it. Then you kind of know something very, very quickly. Obviously, you don't really know it, but you can download something quickly.
You obtain it.
You,
You're able
you have
to
some idea of it.
access it easily and quickly with the modern day AI stuff in that.
Yeah, and then through that you can through that knowledge you can go and actually try it out. Let's say cooking. I don't know how to cook. Let's say Italian pasta.
Yeah.
So I can download it, and then I can't know.
You get a lot more opportunities and a lot more resources, easier to access.
To really
so
try
much easier
and
to,
work on
and
things.
also like it saves up so much time where you could utilize that time to explore yourself, explore your own interests, and try out something different from these resources that we're given at this modern day.
But the danger, the good thing is you can try so many things. The danger is you jump around too much. So everybody now is ADHD. So we kind of just try changing. I focus on the next thing. I'm interested in the next thing. So if you only jump around, you won't be able to actually pick up something for good.
Yeah,
You just know. I just know how to cook pasta, but I don't cook a good pasta. Because you need to try many times to actually get to it.
It takes a lot more time and dedication rather than just utilizing the opportunities of trying it once.
Yeah.
Trying it once, it doesn't really mean that you're a professional.
It's
at
curious.
You don't know,
it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. It's this phrase called, it's something like people get attracted to things that are new.
Yeah.
Like people get that addiction to things that are new.
Yeah.
They like the feeling, but if they're used to something, it's not as appealing to them as something.
You just take it for
different.
granted.
Yeah.
Then you don't get better. And then when the new opportunity comes, you want to stay with the whole thing. So that's why I think there are something that you need to invest time to actually work on. But without trying many new things, we don't know. That's why in the university we actually have a model called T model. T model person, it's what new generation people should be like. One is actually the T, like a T character, the capital. The top part is actually how bored you are. So seeing different parts of the world, trying new tools, trying new dishes, and meeting new people, studying courses you haven't been to. The curiosity part, it's the top part. But at the same time, if you just look at all these things, you are nothing. Because if you know everything, you think you know everything, you happen to know nothing.
Yeah.
Because you're nothing you're good at. The straight line for the T is actually I'm building something. It's called cascading. I learn something and I go better, and I go better, and I go better. But by seeing more, you actually know what you want to learn. So over time, you actually build a expertise. And that expertise become your best weapon.
That's definitely true.
And then you can use that weapon to actually do other things and so on.
Because I recall a lot of my my hobbies.
Yep.
They slowly grow into like something that I'm really professional and good at.
I agree, Alpha. You told me that you really like photography.
Yeah, I like photography. Also like stuff like keyboards and stuff.
Yep.
And then they all started with a hobby.
Yeah.
Photography, it was very simple. It just started with my phone.
Yeah.
I was on a trip. I don't recall which year, but I just started, really feeling connected to nature and connected to, pictures where they really tell a story. I feel myself connecting to that, and then that's kind of how I slowly, spent more time learning photography, the basic concepts, rather than just the basic concepps and stuff.
Yeah.
The frameworks, also, testing and experimenting.
But do you improve over time?
Yes, definitely.
What do you do?
I've been consistent. It's definitely been consistent with, building your own skill set, testing and trying things out, trying different things, and also looking for inspiration.
Let's say, how do you improve your skill? Do
So-
you watch video? Do you go out and take a course?
So, it's definitely with watching videos.
Yeah, YouTube is a
YouTube
simple
is so
way,
easy to
yeah.
access. It's one of the easiest way, and
Yeah.
nonetheless, I also ask advice from other experts. Like,
Okay, talk to the
'cause
experts.
Other like some of my friends, they're
Yeah.
Professionals.
Yeah.
I talk to them.
Observe how they do it.
Observe how they do it, and then we utilize the resources that we have to benefit us. And that's kind of also how I improved, and also reaching out to have opportunities to work with professionals rather than just taking it as a hobby. That's definitely one
But
thing.
do you,
that-
let's say, join competition, or do you actually have, let's say, set up an online gallery so that people can look at your
Yeah, I
stuff?
definitely have set
Sharing
up
is actually important,
online gallery, and because I've been focused a lot on product photography.
Okay.
'Cause, I'm really
Yeah, you told
interested
me
in
that.
keyboards, right?
Yes.
And then I shoot a lot of photos for, helping my friends promote their keyboards or
Yep, yep.
sharing the stuff that I have.
Yep.
And then slowly I learned, on which settings should I use? How do you set the white balance? What's the
light-
framing and all that professional, like more detailed stuff? It slowly gets built up. At the start, I've been using auto mode on my camera.
Yeah.
Now, that's the only mode I never use.
Especially with different lighting, all the different professional type thing, and then you learn it. The first time is like a filter or a template, but then afterward you dig deeper and dig deeper.
Dig deeper, and then you don't. There isn't like before you have online all these bullet points on you shoot in this mode with this level of exposure to the shutter. When you experiment yourself, you'll find what's best for you. What's best for your specific skill set, and that's kind of how you build on. You experiment it. You go test it out and you go try it out.
Use your model. You will see that hey, you're building something over time.
Definitely.
But at the same time, by learning from others, trying out the new things, and then watching video, observing how other works, and or even going to competition and then show it on a gallery. More and more, you got more interaction with other people. But then you're building something over time. And photography, it can be a lifetime hobby, and also a profession.
It could.
So
that's kind of what I'm really doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm taking it as a hobby and also as a profession. I'm helping I'm helping people do product
tell me about that.
and
Tell me about that.
so
You guys are thinking about this. Lambert, tell me about this.
Oh yeah, that
this
was
thing you guys want to do.
So my friend and I, Abdallah, we are thinking of helping
Both students?
Yeah, we're both students. He's year 2, I'm year 1.
Okay.
We're not really experienced, but he's a marketing student. I've been into business and also been into product photography, branding, stuff like that. We want to really help out NGOs. Want to help out NGOs with promoting and telling their story because with photos and videos, right?
Yeah.
It's not really about how they look. It's not. It's more than that. It's so
It's
much
the
more into
story,
the
right?
story,
Yeah.
like the story that the picture, the video tells, and the theme, the idea that they want to provide the audience with. They want the audience to feel. That's what important. That's what's important. And same with branding, advertising.
Yeah.
They want to convey a story. They want to tell a story. They want to get more attention from people. And then we really want to use our you don't have expertise in business yet, but we're students, we're learning, and then we've also had experience, and we're thinking of utilizing this skill set, trying and testing things out to build our knowledge.
Have
build
you
our
tried,
experience.
let's say, some of the story that you want to tell in the let's say the social sector because you want to help the social people?
Well, definitely we've helped with Plan International.
Okay, tell us a little bit.
So for our ENTR 3030 course, we actually matched with them in our ISC. Rather than just helping them out with the issue they proposed to us, which is financially, we also volunteered to be at their events to get to know the people and to get to know them and what they really do. And as I volunteered as a photographer, and they also needed a photographer,
Good.
I helped out at their I think it was their orientation event for BACM. I think it's becoming it's something. It's an
school?
event. It's a event for secondary students.
Okay.
And then at the event, when you're talking to these students, or you're talking to the advisors, talking to the teachers and stuff, you're really learning from them and then getting to know their story.
Yeah.
Then with that, you take photos of what they do, because they have small events, things they do, and then while taking these photos, utilizing their emotion and showing the entire story of them, who they are, and then their goal, their value. It really showcases more than just a picture of who they are and what they're doing. It showcases of like
what they're doing,
what
they care about,
international, what they care about, what they aim to promote, what their values are, and what story or what they're trying to have. They're trying to raise awareness. They're trying to have more people raise awareness in gender equality, girls' rights, children rights. And especially for their project in Nepal, these photos, they really matter. Yeah, they really tell a story.
So it's not
really
just
important.
the aperture or the shutter speed or everything and so on.
All that in this scenario, it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
Like the settings of the camera. You might know all these settings, but it doesn't matter. It's all about trying to convey a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to consist of the perfect frame. It doesn't have to consist of the perfect action.
Yeah.
It can, it's what's important is, the content, like what's the content and what's behind it. Because, pictures, they're just, they're just taken to record a specific instant.
Yeah.
But if you do that, if you have the ability and the knowledge to record the instant, but also in some sort of way convey the story,
how do you think, let's say, these stories that you have taken, let's say for them, how might you help them tell the story, and also how does it, who is your audience? What do you want to tell them? And then let's say, because you're saying that you want to use the skill to help, let's say, the social entity to convey the idea, to actually, are they going for money, or are they going to convince more people to actually support their cause? How might you actually want to do that?
Well, because we're actually focusing on both. They need both money as well, funding, and also more attraction, more attention.
But by telling more people the story, people understand their value.
Definitely.
Sometimes the value is money. Sometimes the value is volunteering, network. Can I help you somewhere? And everything.
Definitely.
Or the parents, they understand the story. They want to bring the kids to join. The value is actually the key.
This actually reminded me of like when we were having dinner with Lambert. It was last week. And then he asked us, why do we want to help? Why do we want to start this this organization? We said that we don't want to only be donating the money, because when you're donating, you kind of you're not really participating. You're like just giving it away. Take it. You might need to just take it. But however, if we are really being participated in donating our time, our effort, our professionality in helping them, it gives them more help. It provides them more, because money, it's very objective, but the story you help with providing them, the branding, the advertising, the other stuff that you do rather than money, that's also very, very highly important in modern era. But that's also one of the things that people exclude the most. People think money can solve all the problems, but that's not really the case, especially in social entrepreneurship.
Yes. I think that's very good. I was glad that you guys are in one of our classes doing that, because then you have a chance to meet up with real people trying to help real people, and at the same time you use your skill. To actually try to apply to something new, because the content in this case is different from whatever you might be doing. But all your skill is actually helping, and that key skill in here is actually storytelling.
Yes.
So that storytelling skill, the more that you do it, the more you're able to actually, we call it transferable. You can apply it to all the other different segments that you want to do. And I think that's something that you are correct. And actually, let's say if you form a company or form a social enterprise to actually do this, this can help many people, and to bring out their value, so that other people can actually value it, volunteering, donate, wherever, supporting them, and so on. I think that's worth a lot.
Yeah, because with all this branding and storytelling, we're actually promoting and seeking people to help out.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's the art of photography and videography.
Very nice. We were talking a little bit more about how we might actually promote entrepreneurial education to more people. And then we were thinking, definitely video, podcasts, audio type thing are very important. But we also think that to be on IG, to be on Facebook to be too old, or maybe in TikTok, like you're not in Hong Kong or wherever. All these social networks are actually very important, because that's where you tell the story to more people.
That's where all the attentions are. That's where all the attention for the modern age are.
And there are more skills there. How do you manage when people come in? How do you publish it so that people are interested to kick in?
It's like, because it's the world's changing, and social media is something actually fairly new. It's slowly developing. Social media marketing, entrepreneurship, through all this stuff people slowly develop that skill.
Agree. It used to be only the rich people can actually do it. Now you can just shoot
Everyone
it.
can do it, and then it's really important to be able to adjust to the time, to what's famous in this modern era, and that goes back to learn to learn.
Yeah, very nice. So I think that's something that it's a good topic that we cover. Basically, we cover the idea of what's the entrepreneurial mindset.
Definitely.
The mindset is you learn something and then you grab an opportunity to actually apply it. Entrepreneur usually create value. So in this case, even your shooting of video being tried so many times, you're able to actually apply it for other people.
Definitely.
Obviously, you can apply it for professional use, but you can also apply it for a social good. So I think that's also show that the entrepreneurial thinking, the innovator, can actually bring it to social, and you can do both together. And
Highly agree.
that's what we agree
I
on.
couldn't agree less. I couldn't agree more. Sorry. Thanks for tuning in into our HKUST ENTRU podcast. Catch us on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We hope to see you next time.